Hello, I'm Dr. Sonia. Many people feel tired, low on energy, and frustrated with weight changes, and they often describe it in one simple sentence: my metabolism is slowing down. The truth is, metabolism is one of the most misunderstood topics in health. A lot of people believe that once they reach their 30s or 40s, their metabolism automatically crashes, and from that point forward, weight gain and low energy become unavoidable. But that idea is not entirely accurate. In many cases, metabolism is not suddenly broken. What usually changes over time is body composition, movement, sleep quality, food choices, stress levels, and how efficiently the body is using energy. That is actually good news. Because if the real issue is not simply age, then there are practical things that can be done to support the body and improve metabolic health naturally. Metabolism is not just about how fast calories are burned. It is the entire process through which the body converts food into usable energy. It affects energy levels, fat storage, blood sugar regulation, hormone signaling, temperature control, and even how alert or sluggish a person feels through the day. So when people say their metabolism feels slow, they are often noticing a combination of symptoms: easier weight gain, more belly fat, less stamina, more fatigue, weaker recovery, more cravings, and a general feeling that the body is not responding the way it used to. What is important to understand is that metabolism is deeply built into human biology. It is not random. It is not a switch that simply shuts off in middle age. Large-scale research examining thousands of people across many countries found that metabolism moves through a few broad stages in life. In infancy, metabolism is extremely high. Through childhood and adolescence, it gradually shifts downward toward adult levels. Then, across much of adulthood, especially roughly between ages 20 and 60, metabolism is actually more stable than many people assume. After the age of 60, it declines, but usually only modestly. This means that for a large number of adults, the main reason metabolism feels worse is not age alone. The real drivers are often excess visceral fat, low physical activity, loss of muscle, poor sleep, chronic stress, inflammation, and a diet dominated by sugar and ultra-processed foods. Let's start with visceral fat because it plays a major role. Visceral fat is the fat stored deep inside the abdomen around internal organs. This is different from the fat that sits just under the skin. Visceral fat is more metabolically active in a harmful way. It releases inflammatory signals, interferes with insulin sensitivity, and makes the body less efficient at handling energy. As visceral fat increases, people often notice they feel heavier, more inflamed, more tired, and more resistant to weight loss. In this situation, it can feel like metabolism is slow, but in reality, the body is under metabolic stress. Another major piece of the story involves mitochondria. Mitochondria are the energy-producing structures inside cells. They help convert nutrients from food into usable cellular energy. These structures are essential for brain function, muscle performance, body temperature regulation, and overall vitality. With age, inactivity, poor sleep, poor diet, and stress, mitochondria can become less efficient. That does not mean they disappear. It means the body may need better signals and better conditions to use them well. Muscle also matters tremendously. Muscle tissue is metabolically active. The more active and healthier the muscles are, the better the body tends to manage glucose, insulin, and energy expenditure. If daily movement decreases over time and muscle mass gradually drops, the body becomes less efficient. That is one reason people often feel older than they are. There is also something called brown fat. Unlike white fat, which mainly stores energy, brown fat helps burn energy to generate heat. This process is called thermogenesis. Brown fat contains a high number of mitochondria, which is why it is so useful in energy balance. Over time, brown fat activity may become less responsive, but it can still be stimulated under the right conditions. So the goal is not to punish the body with extreme dieting. The real goal is to create the right biological signals. Signals that tell the body to improve insulin sensitivity, burn stored fat more efficiently, support mitochondria, activate muscle, reduce inflammation, and regulate energy more effectively. One very practical strategy is time-restricted eating, also known as intermittent fasting. This does not have to be extreme. The basic idea is simple. When the body is not constantly digesting food, insulin levels get a chance to come down. Insulin is a hormone that helps move nutrients into cells, but when insulin remains elevated for long periods, the body is less likely to access stored fat for energy. When eating stops for a meaningful stretch of time, the body can shift into a different metabolic state. It becomes easier to burn stored energy, especially fat. A very realistic starting point is simply to stop eating after dinner. No late night snacks, no unnecessary desserts before bed, no mindless eating while watching screens. That overnight gap matters. During sleep, the body is already in a fasting state. Extending that period even slightly can help support better metabolic flexibility. Some people may also choose to delay breakfast. That can lengthen the fasting window further. For example, finishing dinner earlier and eating the first meal a bit later the next day can create a natural fasting window without making the plan feel overly restrictive. This is not starvation. This is timing. And for many people, better timing improves appetite control, reduces constant insulin stimulation, and helps the body become more efficient at using stored fuel. Of course, fasting is not right for everyone. People with diabetes, pregnancy, low body weight, chronic illness, or those taking certain medications should only make fasting changes with professional guidance. The second major strategy is movement. One of the biggest metabolic problems in modern life is prolonged sitting. The body was not designed to remain still all day. Yet, many people now spend hours sitting at desks, sitting in cars, sitting with phones, sitting in front of screens, and sitting again after dinner. That pattern sends the wrong message to the body. When muscles remain inactive for long periods, glucose handling worsens, circulation slows, energy use drops, and metabolism becomes less efficient. The good news is that intense gym workouts are not the only answer. Walking is one of the most underrated metabolic tools available. A daily walk helps activate muscles, improve insulin sensitivity, support circulation, reduce stress, and increase overall energy expenditure. A walk after meals, especially after dinner, may be particularly helpful. Movement breaks throughout the day also matter. Standing up regularly, walking while taking calls, stretching between tasks, and reducing long periods of uninterrupted sitting can create meaningful benefits over time. The body responds well to consistency. A person does not need to become an athlete overnight, but the body does need the message that it is being used. The third strategy is improving sleep quality and using mild, cool temperature to support thermogenesis. Sleep is central to metabolic health. Poor sleep disrupts hunger hormones, increases cravings, worsens insulin sensitivity, raises stress hormones, and makes weight management harder. Even a good nutrition plan becomes less effective if sleep is chronically poor. A slightly cool sleeping environment may provide an additional benefit. As mentioned earlier, brown fat helps generate heat. When the body senses a cooler environment, it can stimulate brown fat activity and support thermogenesis. A bedroom that is comfortably cool rather than overly warm may support both better sleep and a small increase in energy use during the night. This is not a dramatic transformation by itself, but it is one of those small changes that can reinforce the body's natural systems. The fourth strategy is hydration. Hydration affects energy, digestion, circulation, temperature control, physical performance, and even appetite regulation. Sometimes fatigue and sluggishness are worsened by something as simple as not drinking enough water. Cold water may have a small additional thermogenic effect because the body uses energy to maintain internal temperature. This is not a miracle solution, but as part of a well-designed routine, it can contribute to overall metabolic support. The important principle here is consistency. A body that is underhydrated does not function optimally. Good hydration helps every system work more efficiently, including those involved in metabolism. The fifth strategy is nutrition that supports mitochondria, gut health, and inflammation control. This is where food quality matters far more than extreme restriction. A healthy metabolism is not built by eating as little as possible. It is built by eating in a way that gives the body useful signals. Whole foods rich in fiber, antioxidants, and polyphenols can support metabolic function in several ways. Polyphenols are natural compounds found in many plant foods. They are especially abundant in berries, pomegranate, walnuts, olives, green tea, cocoa, herbs, and colorful vegetables. These compounds help reduce oxidative stress and support the gut microbiome. The gut microbiome is now recognized as a major player in metabolism. Healthy gut bacteria help regulate inflammation, support digestion, influence insulin sensitivity, and even interact with appetite and energy pathways. Certain compounds from foods like pomegranate, berries, and walnuts can be processed by gut bacteria into a metabolite called urolithin A. Urolithin A has attracted attention because of its potential role in supporting mitochondrial health and renewal. Not everyone produces it efficiently because gut microbiomes differ from person to person. But this illustrates an important principle. Food does not just provide calories. Food also provides information. What a person eats helps shape inflammation, gut health, hormonal signaling, energy production, and long-term metabolic resilience. Now, while supporting metabolism, it is equally important to remove the habits that damage it. One of the most important things to reduce is excess added sugar. Sugary drinks are especially harmful because liquid sugar is easy to consume quickly and does not create the same fullness as whole foods. Frequent intake of sweetened beverages can drive fat storage, worsen insulin resistance, and increase visceral fat over time. It is not usually one isolated drink that causes the problem. It is the daily pattern. Another major issue is ultra-processed food. These foods often come in boxes, wrappers, packets, or containers with long ingredient lists full of additives, refined starches, unhealthy fats, and large amounts of sugar or sodium. They are engineered to be highly palatable and easy to overeat. A diet dominated by ultra-processed food can damage the gut microbiome, increase inflammation, worsen blood sugar control, and make appetite regulation more difficult. Over time, this creates the perfect environment for metabolic dysfunction. Many people believe they have a metabolism problem when in reality they have a signal problem. The body is receiving the wrong instructions repeatedly. Too much sitting, too little muscle use, too much sugar, too little sleep, too much ultra-processed food, too little fiber, too much stress, too little recovery. When these patterns continue for years, the body adapts in ways that feel like a slowing metabolism. The good news is that the reverse is also true. When the body receives better signals, it begins adapting in a healthier direction. Better meal timing can improve metabolic flexibility. More walking can improve insulin sensitivity. More protein and strength-supportive habits can help preserve muscle. Polyphenol-rich foods can support gut and mitochondrial function. Better sleep can improve hormonal balance. Less sugar and fewer ultra-processed foods can reduce metabolic stress. This is why the most effective metabolism support plan is usually simple, structured, and repeatable. Not extreme, not punishing, not built around quick fixes. A sustainable metabolic routine may look like this. Finish dinner and avoid late-night snacking. Sleep on a regular schedule. Keep the sleeping environment comfortably cool. Walk daily, especially after meals. Reduce long sitting periods. Drink enough water through the day. Choose more whole foods and fewer ultra-processed foods. Include fiber-rich plant foods, healthy fats, and quality protein. Reduce sugary drinks and frequent high-sugar snacks. Support the gut microbiome through dietary variety and plant compounds. These steps may look basic, but they are biologically powerful. The body often does not need more punishment. It needs better support. And that support works best when it is consistent. This also brings us to an important mindset shift. Metabolism should not be treated like an enemy. It is not something that has betrayed the body. Metabolism is a reflection of how the body is responding to the environment it is given. When the environment improves, the body often becomes more cooperative. That is why many people start feeling better before major weight loss even happens. They sleep better. Energy improves. Cravings decrease. Brain fog lifts. Bloating settles. Stamina returns. Mood becomes more stable. These are often early signs that metabolism is moving in the right direction. The process is not always instant, but it is meaningful. If there is one central message to remember, it is this. A healthy metabolism is not created by eating less and suffering more. It is built by helping the body use energy more efficiently. That means reducing visceral fat, protecting muscle, improving insulin sensitivity, supporting mitochondria, lowering inflammation, and restoring healthier daily rhythms. This approach is not about perfection. It is about intelligent repetition of the right habits. Small changes done consistently can have a bigger long-term impact than extreme changes that last only a few days. So if energy has been low, if weight gain has become easier, or if the body has been feeling less responsive, that does not automatically mean everything is broken. It may simply mean the body needs the right signals again. Support the system, reduce the strain, work with biology instead of fighting against it. That is where real, sustainable metabolic change begins. I'm Dr. Sonia. This information is for educational purposes only and is not a substitute for personal medical advice. Anyone with a medical condition, pregnancy, diabetes, or ongoing medication use should speak with a qualified healthcare professional before making major changes to diet, fasting, supplementation, or exercise. Thank you for listening.